We've got ones that can see. Welcome, everybody, to today's show. Donald Trump has shared a video on his Truth Social account of what he has planned for the Gaza Strip. And for anybody out there that hasn't seen, I've covered this topic quite a few times over my short period of time here on YouTube, since I'm a brand new YouTuber, talking about the expansion of Israel, the Greater Israel Plan, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But Donald Trump continually exposes himself on his social media accounts, so much so that it should be easy for anybody out there with eyes to see and ears to hear to see who he's actually working for, what team he's actually on. And it's incredible we've gotten to this point where so many of our fellow followers of Christ are being deceived so easily. But I want to show you this AI video where you'll see Gaza as Trump's Gaza, which of course is a freedom city, a smart city. But more so than that, it is filled with signs and symbols, including that golden statue of Donald Trump that we continually see, which is really a modern day depiction of the golden calf. And of course, how convenient that Donald Trump on Tuesday evening shared this video using AI that showcases his proposals for the potential development of the war-torn Gaza Strip, complete with his golden statue and beachfront skyscrapers rising from the rubble again, which is going to be his branded freedom cities, which are really smart cities. And how convenient that it is a 33-second video that he shared. And it starts off with a shot of the city in ruins and what is to come next. And remember, even before this was announced, while Joe Biden was still in the White House, Netanyahu talked about Gaza 2035, and they revealed plans, a 3-step program for returning Gaza to self-governance and exactly what it would look like. And it looks exactly like we all depict these smart cities are going to look. Here is Donald Trump's video from Truth Social.
To set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one.
So again, is there enough idol worship in that video? Is anybody seeing the idol worship yet? I mean, I know there's many deceived people out there, but you would hope that the people who are supposed to be awake, who follow a book that is supposed to be a blueprint and a prophecy of things to come in the future, be able to see deception right in front of their eyes, but they do not. And obviously, I can't go into great detail about that land over there that calls itself Israel because it's almost impossible to speak of. In fact, you might lose a channel or 87 if you do speak about it on here. But of course, I'll speak about that openly over on my website, as well as the Balfour Declaration and how that piece of land became the state that it is now, which is a military industrial complex. So the Greater Israel has been the plan for a long time. The expansion of Israel, taking over areas over in the Middle East and expanding it out, areas into Saudi Arabia, Syria, Iraq, and of course, taking over the Gaza Strip. But let's take a look at some of the symbolism in that 33-second video, which of course, for anyone with eyes to see, again, I'll point it out. If you are new to all this, 33 is always a coded number. You'll hear 33 all the time. They'll have 33-second videos, addresses, and a lot of these false flag events will have the 33 attached to it, whether it takes place at an address like that or an ambulance just shows up with the number 33 on it. Or just as conveniently, one of the supposed shooters or people involved in the supposed crime, which is really a government carried out false flag, usually ends up being 33 years old. 33 represents the fallen angels, 1/3 of the fallen angels. Jesus was believed to be crucified at the age of 33 years old. And of course, 33 is the highest rank you could achieve in Freemasonry. It is very symbolic to the occult. And we see Donald Trump depicted in this video once again with a golden statue of Donald Trump, golden Apollo here. We even see a child holding up the golden Donald Trump balloon. In fact, in Trump's Gaza, there are little golden statues, golden idols of Donald Trump, and golden balloons and golden this and golden that, just gold everywhere, right? In the past, I've shown you some of these images that should disturb people of human beings walking up to a golden statue of Donald Trump and bowing down to it, almost like a scene out of Wayne's World saying, "We're not worthy, we're not worthy." And these are Christians, most of them, who are supposed to be following Jesus Christ and putting their trust in God, not in man. But of course, they do put their trust in man. And there's a reason that Donald Trump uses this golden statue, because this is very symbolic to the Bible and the golden calf, which of course represented Baal in Exodus chapter 32, verses 1 through 4. Listen closely. "And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt." This is the golden calf, which was the idol made of gold that the Israelites worshipped instead of God in the book of Exodus. And of course, eventually we find out in Exodus chapter 32, verses 19 through 21, "And it came to pass as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot. And he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf, which they had made, and burnt it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it. And Moses said unto Aaron, What did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them?" So the golden calf that they worship, the false idol that they worship, you could see the comparisons with Donald Trump. And even in Kings chapter 12, verses 28 through 29, there were two golden calves, placed one in Bethel and the other in Dan, essentially creating idols for the Israelites to worship instead of going to Jerusalem to worship the one God. It is considered an act of idolatry in the Bible. And the golden calf, again, represents Baal. Now, in this video, we also see Elon Musk celebrating with cash, throwing money in the air. And you would think that Christians out there would see signs like this, an obsession with wealth and prosperity, as a sin. You would think that they would heed God's warnings in the Bible, because it's mentioned many times about the love of money. In Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5, keep your life free from the love of money and be content with what you have. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 2, don't be greedy for money. And of course, the most known verse, Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, you cannot serve both God and money. But of course, this is the world we live in now, where you could have people who Christians follow who depict themselves literally as golden idols, and they'll bow down before it and say that they're not idol worshiping. You could have these people throwing money in the air and then bribing them, saying that we're going to tear down the government and we're going to give you money, and have them cheering and screaming in joy for the love of money, and not realize that God forbids this. God warns of this, not to be greedy for money. And they still say, well, that's not what I'm doing here. That's not what it is. We're not idol worshiping. We're not obsessing and falling in love with money and choosing money over God. You know, that's not what this is. But of course, that's what it is. And of course, Trump as well, in that trailer, Trump's Gaza, much like most of his casinos and Mar-a-Lago, again, everything is depicted in gold, like his apartment in New York City. But you may have noticed that there's a small child standing in front of Trump Gaza. And what does it look like he's holding? It looks an awful lot like a red balloon, doesn't it? You know that red balloon that you see all the time but don't realize why it's there? You know, like in the movie It, which the clown It is always carrying around a red balloon, and nobody thinks as to why. Many films depict children with red balloons. And of course, this has everything to do with Baal worship, just like that golden statue. Balloon. Baal. The origins of the word balloon go back to Baal. And in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2, in which you once walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit who now works in the sons of disobedience. That red balloon signifies ritual sacrifice, ritual offering. You often see it floating mysteriously in the air for the prince of the power of the air and the sacrifice that is given unto him from his followers. The red balloon. The ending of the movie It, again, is not the same ending as the book It. In the movie It, the movie just ends, because if they actually depicted what is written in Stephen King's disturbing book on the screen, people would have shown up at Stephen King's home with pitchforks and handcuffs and arrested him for what they would have seen on the screen. But they couldn't depict it on the screen because the movie would have went from R to XXX, because the film It just ends like a normal, horrible horror movie, but the book actually ends with all the children convening together after the entire thing revolves around a clown and a red balloon, and a massive ritual takes place where the children perform an act with one another, underage children. And I won't go into more detail about it because I'm not interested in losing a channel today. And in addition to just the red balloon that we saw in the trailer ends again at the gates of Trump Gaza with a heart balloon. Right? Remember, all these comparisons to Baal, the golden calf, Baal, balloon, Baal. Here's the heart-shaped balloon. And for anyone out there that doesn't know, the heart is a symbol of Nimrod among the ancient Babylonians. The word for heart in the Babylonian language was Baal, a symbol of Baal. And you always will see the celebrities holding up their hands, making this heart sign. And it doesn't mean the heart that's pumping inside of your body, because if you've actually seen a picture of a human heart, for anybody out there, I mean, I shouldn't have to explain this, but in this world today, with the things that they're teaching children, there probably are kids and teenagers and even adults that think the heart inside their body looks just like the symbol, but they don't look anything alike, actually. They make this heart symbol as a symbol for Baal. And of course, it's supposed to be a symbol for love and peace and tolerance. And we've seen Elon Musk holding up this sign before. And of course, why is that? Well, that's because who do you think is coming in the name of peace and love? The Antichrist is coming in the name of peace and love. That's part of the deception that will be occurring. That's part of the deception that many Christians will also, or followers of Christ, I should say, will also fall into. We constantly see all the celebrities holding up. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 2 through 11, it tells us specifically, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. So there's certainly a lot of symbolism in this actual 33-second video, which again is the most important number to the occult. Other than, of course, if you want to think 666, 33 is the most seen, obvious, blatant number that we always see right in front of our faces, right? So in his 33-second video, what does Donald Trump do? Donald Trump shows you the future for Gaza. And it's a future that looks a lot like a 15-minute smart city that he's calling a freedom city, but he gets a free pass, right? So what else does he do? He depicts himself as a golden idol, a golden statue. He has children walking around holding balloons of Donald Trump's head. Golden balloons, golden little statues of Donald Trump inside of Trump's Gaza. And of course, this is again a common theme with Donald Trump being depicted as a golden god, a golden calf. This is Baal. You see a love of money, an obsession with money floating and flying in the air, because they know that Christians will just continually tell themselves that they're not idol worshiping, that this is wonderful things, that God's chosen people are Israel. They have zero interpretation of what's actually happening in the world. Of any of the deceptions that the Bible warns about, they've overlooked all of them. They've overlooked even the creation of the state of Israel in 1948 and the origins of it and the connection to the Rothschilds and the Greater Israel plan. These are all things that they ignore. And these are all things that I continue to get yelled at and screamed at by people who think that they're more biblically sound than someone like I am, and also people who think that they're more understanding of the New World Order and who actually runs and controls it. And it's those same people that you think are the chosen people. And the Bible, again, tells us specifically about those people who say they are and are not, but of the synagogue of Satan. So the little boy, the little child, I should say, holding up the red balloon, these are often symbols that get overlooked. I mean, if there was a giant pyramid on top of Trump Gaza Tower, do you think that these people would make an excuse for it? I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would. I mean, I understand that the red balloon is not a symbol that people understand. I understand that the heart symbol is not one that they understand either. It's one of those symbols most people refuse to believe. Lots of, women have tattoos or whatever of hearts. They love heart. So they refuse to believe it. I'm just telling you the origins of it. You could refuse it all you want. If you don't want to believe it, that's up to you. But the truth is right in front of your faces. But I mean, if Donald Trump put an all-seeing eye on the top of this Trump Gaza building, don't you think these people would make up an excuse for him and say, well, that's not what he's actually saying. He's not really an Illuminati. He's saying that he's playing 6D chess, right? He could literally stand there doing the all-seeing eye symbols. He could stand on the magazine covers, already has, holding up the 666 sign. We've seen that as the symbol of MAGA over the last decade or so, and these people make excuses for him. And now they're worshiping golden statues of Donald Trump out in public, and he's even depicting himself as this golden statue, sharing this video that's 33 seconds long on his social media accounts. And of course, if you didn't notice, the video ends with him and Netanyahu lying outside by a pool with their shirts off, mucking it up. Because guess who they're laughing at? Well, they're laughing at all those MAGA supporters. They're laughing at all of those Christians who have been deceived, who have fell in love and fell in bed with the synagogue of Satan themselves. Share this video, wake people up. Obviously, I'm sure the video is not long for this world, but what can you do, right? Other than try to get truth out as much as you possibly can. That's all we all can try to do at this point. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.